the visualization piece.
Sorry about that. I hit the record button.
No, you're good.
Yep.
All right, Liz.
All right, so let's see. Let me start by sharing my screen. Let's see if that works. Okay, so you should be able to see the Clean Harbor homepage.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So I built 5 different things based on your flows that you sent us. The first one is for drivers, specifically company drivers. So we open up the conversation and it opens with a little personalized GIF. And then it says, just as you would put out in the flow, hi, thank you for your interest. I'm Andrew, a recruiter. I can help you apply right here. And we're going to say, sounds good, instead of no, thank you. That'd be pointless. And if a person ever wants to opt out at any point, there is this little button up at the top that you can just close out of the conversation and move on.
Okay.
So here's where we're going to say right now, what we want to go through is the company driver flow.
Okay.
So we select that and says, great, I need to get your location. Would you like me to find you, or would you like to enter your location manually? We're going to have it find us through Google. It's going to geolocate where we are, pulls up a picture of the map, pulls up our address in Houston. We're going to say, yes, that's correct. And then once we do that, we go into the question of Class A or Class B license. We're going to say we've got a Class A license. And then it says, okay, so do you have a tanker or hazmat endorsement? We're going to say we've got a tanker endorsement. And once we do that, it's going to ask us, are we willing to acquire that hazmat endorsement? We'll say yes. And from here, we have a list of commercial vehicles that we can select from as far as what we drive.
Perfect.
And you can scroll through that. And for our purposes, what I did was we're going to select one first. So we're going to select that box truck. Once we select that, it's going to say, great, are there any other vehicles we want to add on? And when we say yes, we go right back into that list and we'll add that roll off as well.
Perfect.
So from here, it's going to say, is there anything else you want to add before moving on? We're going to say no. We've gotten all the trucks that we want to apply to ourselves here. And then from here, it's going to say, are you able to drive a manual transmission? We're going to say yes. That pulls up a multi-select list picker with the different types of transmission speeds. We're going to say 13 and 18. We're going to move on. And after we do that, it says, fantastic. So what is most important to you regarding this opportunity? And we're going to say work-life balance. We're going to say pay rate. And then from here, it says we've got the best rates in the industry. You've completed the first step of the interview process. And now what we're going to do is set up our interview with our hiring manager. So we're going to say June 8th. We're going to go in tomorrow. And then it'll pull up a list of available times that the hiring manager has to meet with us. And we're going to say 10 a.m. And says, great, your interview has been booked. If you want, you can type your preferred email below and we can send an invite to your email and your calendar. And we'll enter that. We'll just say, Jeff@gmail.
Okay.
And we can also just say no thanks if we don't want to do that. And then we get a little check mark and says, we look forward to seeing you on Monday. Once we're done, it'll end the conversation for us. And we have a little survey that is totally customizable. I will go through it on this one. I won't go through it on every single one just because for the sake of time, but we'll say nothing else to share. And like I said, it's customizable. You can also see the feedback that you get from that. And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to jump over to the owner operator side.
So wait a minute. So this is like this would live on the Clean Harbor's homepage, right?
It would, Jeff, it would live wherever you want it to live.
So this is just okay, because like what I'm looking for, right? Like this is fantastic, and we would definitely use this. What I'm looking for is when a lead from whatever source, right, goes into my landing page and they fill out their name, email address, phone number, and upload their resume, right? And at the bottom it'll say, by clicking submit, you are opting in to this text message workflow, standard rates apply, all that, right?
Yeah.
So when they click submit, I want the bot to say, thank you for applying, right? Can we do that? From a landing
Yeah, we can
page?
do that. We can do that right on the landing page, Jeff. And we could also pull in the UTM parameters or any tracking campaign parameters if a user does come in from a campaign so that we can link it back to that as well.
Fantastic. So
all
attribution.
of that is, yeah, all of that is, we're able to connect all that together, and we can put this experience that Liz is showing you on any web-based page on your website, the landing page, any subsite, whatever it might be. This can live wherever you'd like it to.
So now let me ask you this. We talked about them. Well, but actually, no, that's fine. Because I mean, they're telling us about their endorsements, but no, we can move on.
So Jeff, I just want to make sure we could do a lot more, obviously, as we get into the project. I think what we were trying to do was just give you and your team a flavor for what this is going to look like.
No problem. So like I've managed my expectation now, so we can move on. Got it.
All right, perfect.
All right. So the next thing we're going to go through is the owner operator side. And once again, it starts the same way. We're going to say, sound good. We're going to go right into the conversation. And similar to before, we're going to say owner operator instead of company driver this time. And we're going to have it find us. And once we do that, we're going to say, yes, that's correct. And so it's going to ask us, how many trucks does your company operate? We're going to say 2. And then from here, we're going to, once again, go through this list. And once we are satisfied, we'll find the tractor trailer. And we'll say we operate 2 tractor trailers. And from here, it says, are there any other commercial vehicles that you'd like to add? We're going to say no. Once again, going to ask us about that tanker or hazmat endorsement. We're going to say just the tanker. And then once we get asked about the hazmat endorsement, we're going to say, yes, we are willing to acquire that. And here, just slightly differently, we've got a couple different facets that might be important to a person. We're going to say a steady income to operate vehicles is most important. And right through this, we can open up another conversation, which of course it's going to look the same for the demo, but we can open up another conversation. And this one would take us through that entire calculator spreadsheet, where we can enter as much information as we want. We can say that we don't know stuff. And I'll go through this really quickly because I've probably worded some things a little wrong, but when the people who build it for you work on it, they will word everything correctly based on my limited knowledge of everything here. But we enter all of the pieces of information that you had shown us in that spreadsheet. And once we enter all of that, and oh God, I don't remember what this one was. I'm trying to be as accurate to the spreadsheet as possible.
No, I understand.
How much money did you earn from revenue per mile?
There we go. It's 255. Just so the numbers are actually correct when you see them at the end.
No, but I get it. Like this actually is a much better than a spreadsheet, because spreadsheets intimidate people.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
And so through global variables, is take everything that I just entered, and that's kind of why I want to be a little more accurate about it. And it'll spit it back out to me, and it will tell me, like, does this look correct? And I'm going to say confirm. And once we confirm it, it'll say, I'm going to calculate everything, and it calculates the difference between working under Clean Harbor or working on our own. And we're going to say, no, that looks perfect. We're going to say nothing else can be helped with today. So that'll end that conversation. We can jump back to this one where we're going to say we found out that operating under Clean Harbors would be more profitable. And says, great. So we've completed that first step. We're going to say, again, for this June 8th, same thing as before, it's going to pull up the times that are available. And once again, we'll just enter that email. And we get our little check mark. We're all set.
All right. Like that is a much better than I expected, actually. Right? Like the way you guys broke out the calculator, that is huge. Like that's huge. It's like if you try to give a driver a spreadsheet, he's probably going to look at that and be like, no, I'm not filling that out. Right. So like kudos to the way that you guys have handled the calculator piece. Awesome.
Awesome. I'm glad. So what we're going to do after this is I'm going to hopefully move this away so I can see what I'm doing. And we're going to go into the environmental one.
Environmental tech.
Yeah, environmental tech. So With this one, again, it's a little different from the other one, but it's also kind of similar. So we're going to say, sounds good. We jump into the process. And this is where it's going to ask us about that TWIC card. And we're going to
Yeah.
say, yes, we have it. And this is because, again, this is a mock-up. It's going to be obviously a mock-up. But we would go in, we'd click here to upload our file. It would either on your phone, you have the opportunity to take a picture. On your computer, you can upload a file from your files.
This is exactly what I mean. This right here, because what this is going to do is I'm going to see the expiration date, right? And a lot of people lie, right? They're like, oh, I have a TWIC card and it like expires next month, and we don't deploy them until August, right? So obviously you can't. We need you to renew it, right? So this right here is huge.
Yeah, and so we can also have it show back the image just to make sure you haven't like uploaded a picture of a family vacation.
Right.
And we're going to say, yes, that's the picture we want to upload. And then once again, we're going to have it find us. And this is probably going to be relatively similar. We're going to say that's correct. And from here, this is where it's going to ask us where we have industrial experience.
There we go.
And we scroll through that and we're going to say chemical plants. And easy enough, we'll just say we've had 5 years. And then finally, we get through these like questions just to make sure that we're definitely up for the challenge of driving a truck. We'll say yes to this. And then we'll say that we're willing to work 12 hours per day, 6 to 7 days per week. And finally, it's going to ask us one of the more important things. Do we have a valid driver's license? We can say yes to that. And that can be another instance where you would have a file upload to, make sure that they do have a valid driver's license. And finally, once we complete that step 1, we go into step 2. It tells us about the hiring event on Tuesday, August 3rd, pulls up these available times. Once again, I think we're going to say 10 a.m.
Yep.
And we get a little check mark. Great. We will see you on August 3rd. And finally, it'll open up that survey. Last thing that I'm going to show you is a very, very, very quick little solution where this could be sent to a phone. I think sent to an email. I think can be sent anywhere. Where it can prompt somebody to say like, hey, we know that you got this interview coming up. It would pull up the conversation.
Testimonials. Oh man.
And this is where you could put in those testimonials, where you could put in any interview resources that you want. For the sake of the demo, just because I didn't have those, I'm just going to say no, but we could say yes, we could get as much information as we possibly wanted or as much as you want to possibly give. And then once we say no, it'll say fantastic. And this will, we can have this conversation follow up with us the day before and the day of, just so that you keep in touch with that applicant. And that is all that I built.
No, like this is perfect, right? So let me ask you, the links that you can send, like I would have to walk through it exactly like that to show the leadership, right?
Correct.
Okay, so it might be better to just show them this video.
Yeah.
So this way they can see, because this is just a mock-up, but this clearly illustrates what we're trying to deliver here. And just to be crystal clear, I can connect this to a landing page without a problem, right?
Yep. You can connect it to it. Do you have, Jeff, can you give me an example of a landing page? Would it be on cleanharbors.com, like a subpage of cleanharbors.com, or is it something completely different?
No, I'm gonna have to create this landing. It doesn't even exist. I'm gonna have to create the landing page, right? Because I want a quick apply workflow where literally when they get to the landing page, have you guys seen our video job descriptions?
No.
I've seen a number of things on your website. I'm not sure if I've seen the job descriptions.
This is on my LinkedIn page. We can stop recording now because I'm going to send this